let's say he said the last radar datum on this submarine that's gone down now was 045 12 miles. Centre to edge is 12 miles on this scale, although on the more modern ones that I flew with, you could actually change to 6 miles scale. So centre to edge, 6 miles, which is a nice big scale for manual plotting. Okay, so he says 045 12 miles. Well, it just so happens they've got reciprocal bearings here, so I set my aircraft arrow out here, and the submarine's always in, the datum's always in the middle there. So I've got my release, it's in a clip down here, and I'll pull that up. Luckily I'm left-handed, so all of this stuff I can get in here. I'm going to drop a series of sonobuoys across here. The sonobuoys are all in the bomb bay, and these are my switches here for the sonobuoys. I can drop the sonobuoys long cable. That means they're going to go in the water. The top bit floats, and it's got a VHF aerial sticking out, and they're VHF channels 1 to 31. So I say, buoy 26 away, and I mark on my tracing paper here 26 and a little dot where I've dropped it. Right, and I've dropped it long cable, which means the hydrophone, underwater microphone, goes down 350 feet. If I thought the submarine was shallow, I could drop it shallow, that up, and then it would go down to 60 feet. Anyway, I go one buoy.
How do you make that decision though, whether it's deep or shallow?
Well, it depends on how long it's taken us to get to the datum. Let's say it took us 12 miles distance to get in. Well, he's going to be deep.
Where is it?
Because he knows you're coming.
Yeah, because he's picked us up on his ESM and he knows we're coming. If we lost it at 2 miles, he's going to be shallow. Okay.
Yeah.
But in fact, we had what we call a pattern Bravo, which is a mixture of long and short cables. So I'm working like a one-arm paper hanger here. I drop a short, because that's going to be the quickest in operation. The first buoy is always a short. Then I'll drop. The next buoy will be a long, a short, close to the same position, and then another one, a long. And all the time, I'm not right-handed, but I've got to make a little mark.
So this switch is basically pre-programming the buoy before you drop it.
That's right. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. My release is here. That's just selecting the sonobuoy.
And what it's going to do.
Yeah. And I also have to release a marker with each one of them as well. So bang. The marker launcher is down the back in the main position.
Score it.
Well, when the pilots, no, it's more for when the pilots come around here, whether it's day or night, they can see the smokes and the flames from these markers that I've put in. Because I'm going to tell them I want them to come over this sonobuoy for an attack on that sort of heading. Okay, so they can judge it by looking at they look at their compass, they look at the smoke, and they know what bearing I want them to run out on. But we haven't quite reached that now. I've dropped sonobuoys in the water, and we've got 3 of these underneath, which are called lighthouses. Now that's because a light shines vertically upwards from here, and that's where my sonobuoy is going to be. All right? They're electromagnetic, and they stick to this steel plate here.
Oh, I see.
But I can switch that off by clicking these little switches here, so I can move these around. So I put the first one underneath my sonobuoy here, so the light is shining up to here. Then I'll do the other one, put that under the centre there, and then the third one, which I can't reach, I'll put that over there, you see. And then when these guys get contact now, they can send a bearing through, and I get a light shining up on that bearing, okay? And so where the bearings cross, I make a little cross. That's a fix of the submarine position. And then as the submarine moves, I keep making little crosses so I can judge the track and speed of the submarine. I then decide that I'm going to attack now. So I've got my torpedo switches here. And we only drop 1 torpedo at a time, because if you drop 2 torpedoes, they're going to find each other. There'll be an almighty explosion. Everybody's saying, we killed the submarine. And in fact, all you've done is killed two torpedoes. So I select my 1 torpedo. I got my torpedo presetter here, so I can set initial search depth and a floor depth, because they will go right down, say 900 feet, 1,000 feet. Well, this is a diesel electric submarine. I know they're not going to go deeper than about 400 feet normally, so I can set a search depth of 100, to a floor depth of say 600, and when I drop it in the water, it'll hit the sea, the parachute will fall off, the battery will start working, and it will go straight down to this initial search depth. Then it will start spinning and pinging, searching for the submarine. It'll go down to the floor depth, then it'll come back up again. Then it'll go down and keep doing that until either the battery runs out after about 20 minutes, or it finds a submarine, in which case it will go chasing off after it. So I set the my sonobuoy that I want to attack over on here, one of those. This instrument here, which is a very sensitive instrument, the pilots have got those, and that is a fly left, fly right. And the horizontal one, normally if the sonobuoy's ahead of you, it's up there, and as you get closer it starts coming down, and when the both meet like that, you're right on top of the submarine. I did a trial on that piece of kit many years ago, and it was accurate within about 26 feet, which is very, very good. And that's in all sorts of wind conditions and stormy conditions. 26 feet is damn good. Anyway, so I give the pilots, I'm bringing the pilots round here, and then I'll say, right, I want to attack over that sonobuoy there, it's on the Homer, so they've got it up there, and bring them round, I want to attack up the bearing here of, say, 010. Okay, so they have got the smoke or the flame, depending on if it's night time or daytime, and they're going to come round, home to the sonobuoy, call on top. As they call on top, I can see it anyway here, I set my aircraft position on top of the sonobuoy, bomb doors opened, got my torpedo selected, got my presetter done, got my bomb release in my hand, and I'm just watching it here. It's going to run up the buoy, watching the final fixes coming through from the sonics, then and away she goes. Bomb doors close, we can all have a cup of tea.
Who does the bomb door, John?
Pilots have got the bomb door switch.
Because that alters the aircraft flying characteristics.
I suppose a little bit, not much I wouldn't have thought, but it makes a lot of difference to the turbulence of the aircraft. It's a lot of noise. Now, this is a release button here with big red N on it. Any ideas what that might be? I think I've told you, haven't I? When we were outside, I tell you what we carried. Nuclear, nuclear depth bomb. So we carried 2 of those, and we used to have a team of people come around and checking us out, because I mean, when you've got nuclear weapons, it's very serious business, I tell you. And failing the special weapon test is a very serious thing for your career. So I might say, right, we've got the special weapon team coming next week. My second nav hasn't done it. We've got a checklist for this, of course. We don't do it from memory. So I want him to have some practice, so I'm going to do the actions, he's going to call them out, I'm going to do them. Now, when we come to the aircraft, they're United States Navy weapons, okay, so...
Excuse me, I don't want to interrupt, can the lad go through to the cockpit?
Yeah, go and sit in the pilot seat.
That's it, that's all he wants to do, and he'll be happy.
Oh, you want to go up front with him?
Alright, if you don't mind.
Yeah, get some photographs of them.
All right.
A good idea is to go down in the bomb aims position and take a photograph looking
that's
back.
what he wants to do. Yeah. Alright, thank you.
Yeah, when you arrive at the aircraft, you've got the aircraft is surrounded by barbed wire. There's an American Navy officer there, and there's a Marine with a rifle, and that rifle's got bullets in it, and the Marine hasn't got any sense of humour whatsoever. Okay, so they have this area around the aircraft is called the no loan zone, which is nothing to do with loaning money. LONE means you're not allowed in there on your own. So if you go wandering off, you know, he's going to shoot you dead. They won't mess around. So I go out to the aircraft as the first navigator. I'm going to sign for this weapon or 2. I've never carried a real one, but we used to carry dummies, which we call shapes, which we treated exactly the same way as a real thing. So I'd have to go and sign these things off. We'd go out to the aircraft, US Navy officer, Marine standing behind us with a rifle, ready to shoot one of us if we went mad. And I go and check the 2 weapons over, the dummy ones, and there are some faults on the dummy ones. I can set some faults, so I think, right, my second nav, I want him to have some practice. I'll set fault 3 on this one, and on the other one I'll set fault 4 on that one. And I don't tell him, of course. And then he starts on the checklist, and I start doing the things. He might say, I can't remember what these lights are called now, but that light there, green. I say, no, it's not green. Press the test, Yeah, we got a green, but no, it's not. So he goes through the fault finding thing, and the people behind us have all got their pads out and they're writing it all down about what you have to be a real actor, and you have to. I am doing that. You have to show that you are doing things. So I actually failed a test one year, which was quite drastic. I can tell you, interviews with everybody, but I was too clever. I wasn't being an actor. I did things without saying, watch me everybody, I am doing this, you know, which was a big error when you got the checking team on board. So anyway, he's going through the checklist and he says this, no, 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 right, revert to number 2 weapon. Okay, so we go arming up number 2 weapon and he says, such and such a light, amber. No, press to test, yeah, amber.
The test just checks the bulb.
Yeah, just checks the bulb, yeah. No, right, he goes through fault finding, and I try that. No, we still haven't got an amber light. Right, and this is where I failed the test. I should have said at that stage, right, I am reverting to a conventional torpedo attack. Instead, I just went and made a torpedo attack. And when we got on the ground, they said, you didn't do a, after all that problems you had, you didn't do a conventional follow-up attack. Yes, I did. No, you did not. That's going into a report. You can't argue with the checkers. And I did 3 years as what we call the trappers on the Nimrod. I checked all the navigators that we had in the whole of 18 group. So you can't argue with the trappers. And the other thing about two-man principle here, I can make the weapon safe. I'm the only one who can. I'm the only one who can arm the weapon. The pilots can prevent me dropping it, because they've got the bomb door switch, and then they have an extra switch called a bomb release safety lock, which makes all these, they've got nuclear weapons, yeah, they make them inoperative. So if the pilots went mad, which is possible, they could open the bomb doors, they could undo the bomb release safety lock, they could press the red button, and 1 or 2 nuclear depth forms would fall away, but they'd be safe, because I haven't made them, I haven't armed them, okay? In a real war situation though, first of all we have to get clearance from command, our base, headquarters, and then if we're working with a NATO task group or an American task group, we have to get permission to use nuclear weapons from the task group commander. It's all a long rigmarole you have to go through with all authentications and all this sort of thing. But eventually we come to the point, I make the weapon armed, the pilots then open the bomb doors, the pilots then operate the bomb release safety lock, and they don't normally drop it. I'm the one who normally presses the release button there. If mine doesn't work, they will press theirs, but normally it's left up to me to do all that sort of work.
Does it indicate if it's left the aircraft then? Can you feel it?
I can't remember now. Yeah, you'd certainly feel it. A little jolt.
You need to know it's
I have a
gone,
feeling. Yeah, I have a feeling. Well, we've also down the back we've got a bomb bay periscope, which if we take off with stuff in the bomb bay, before we go over land, we stick the periscope down through various holes in the floor
and just have a look
and just make sure there's no hang-ups and things like that. But yeah, there's got to be an indicator there. I can't remember what these lights are for now. But yeah, you would normally see a green light change to off or something like that.
You certainly don't want it on board.
No. But that's the two-man principle, as it's called. It takes 2 of us. You may have seen these American submarine things. Yeah, the 2 things that one person can't operate both keys, and they've both got guns. So if one of them tries to get 2 keys, bang, you're not allowed to. Anyway, that's basically the end of my little talk, fellas. And I hear some more people coming on board.
Yeah.